Hey guys, welcome back to a new video, and in this video we're gonna discuss few operators using which you can merge more than one observable together in RxJava. So without wasting any time, let's get started and see how we can actually use this. So in RxJava we have mostly three operators. We have merge, zip and concat. So let's begin our journey with merge. So for that I'm gonna create our main function, and in this main function we have two observables. So this is my first observable, and make sure this observable is coming from your RxJava 3.core package. We have interval, and after 300 millisecond I want to emit values. I want to perform some transformation. Due to that reason I'm using here map. We'll simply use here observable1 and its value, and I want to take only the first 5 emission. Similarly, let me make some space for you. Similarly, we have one more observable, observable2. Observable interval, this time I'm using here 500 millisecond. Time unit is in millisecond. I'm using here map in order to perform transformation. So observable 2, and at the end use here its value. And lastly, we are only interested in the first 5 emission. That's why I'm using here take 5. Okay, so now it's time to use merge. So observable dot merge, and in this merge you can pass your observable 1 and observable 2, and simply use here blocking subscribe because we are dealing with time. This is the reason why I'm using here blocking subscribe. Use here print ln and print your emissions. Execute it, and you will see all of the values. So you can notice in here, first we'll get observable 1, then observable 2, then observable 1, again we get observable 1 emissions. This is because when you are using merge, in merge order doesn't matter. Sometime it take observable 1 and sometime it will emit values from observable 2. So if you want to merge more than one observable and for you order doesn't matter, you can go with merge. Now we're going to discuss zip. So for zip, just remove the previous collection. Use here observable.zip, observable 1, observable 2, open a pair of parentheses, and in this pair of parentheses you will receive your values. First we have observable 1, then we have observable 2. So this observable when emit something, this value will represent by observe 1, and observable 2 emit something, this value represent by observe 2. Now in this lambda you can perform transformation if you want to. So I want to perform here some transformation. So first I want to use my observable 1 emission, use dash, and after we'll use observable 2. And at the end I'm using here blocking subscribe, use here print ln and print its value. So it will eventually print the emissions. Okay, so in this case you will notice all of your execution is happening in pairwise. So observable 1 and observable 2 will execute together, but in zip there are few problems, and the problem is let's say your observable time interval is 10 seconds. So if you are using zip, so zip will first execute, emit the values from observable 2 because it has only 500 time in millis, but for the first observable you have 10 seconds. So it will wait for 10 seconds, and once it receives the value from observable 1, then only will consume those emissions in our blocking subscribe. So if you want to merge your observable in pairwise, then you can use zip. As you can see in here, first we have observable 1, then it waits for observable 2, and once it emits the first emission, then only will receive this value. So this is a major difference between merge and zip. Zip will execute your observable or consume your observable pairwise, but in merge it is not the case. Now we're going to discuss concat. In concat, sequence matter. So just remove all of this thing, create an observable 1. So we have observable 1, and in this we'll have few items. Let's say we have A, we have B, and lastly we have C. And I want to introduce delay just to show you the concept. So let's say I'm using a 500, time unit is in millis. So this is my first observable. Then we have observable 2. So observable just, and in this we have number 1 2 3, let's say we have 3. So now use observable dot concat. Now in concat sequence matter. So if I'm using here observable 1 and then observable 2 and use blocking subscribe, print the consumed values one by one. So first it will execute your observable 1. Basically once our observable 1 start emitting value, then only we'll get this ABC, because we have delay of 500 milliseconds, and after that it will execute our observable 2. Now we have a problem in here, not a problem, but there might be a situation where you will get this problem. And the problem is, let's say instead of using here 500 milliseconds, let's say I'm using here 15 seconds. So now when you execute it, it will wait for 15 seconds, because in concat sequence matter. So first it will execute observable 1 and then only it will go for observable 2. So it will wait 15 seconds, and once this emission is complete, then we'll use observable 2, and when it's emit value we'll simply print those. So as you can see, it will wait for 15 seconds, and after that we'll receive these 3 emissions, and once we receive these 3 emissions, this execution is completed, and after that it will start collecting the observable 2 emissions 1 2 3. So these 3 operators you can use to merge more than one observable. So in concat, in merge order doesn't matter, and in zip you can execute or consume your observable in pairwise. That's it for this video.